Hi, this is Richard Dennis. Welcome to the story of my life in 9 minutes. In these 40 pictures, you'll see the good, the bad, the best, and the worst. And you should watch because this story may help save the life of someone you love. 1947. I was born. Harry Truman was president. 1948. Last time the Cleveland Indians won the World Series. I was 18 months old. My dad loved to tell the story how he shared a beer with me to celebrate. 1952. I grew up in Euclid, Ohio, near a cliff looking out over Lake Erie. Our family was my mom, my dad, me, and my little brother. 1955. I'd sit on the bench overlooking Lake Erie and imagine myself out in the middle of the lake working on one of those freight ships chugging from Detroit to Buffalo and back. 1956. I fished and swam and walked up and down the beach with all my buddies. 1961. My freshman year at Homewood Flossmoor High School, south suburbs of Chicago. 1965. I began journalism studies at the University of Oregon in Eugene, Oregon. I played football for the Ducks. One of my teammates actually won the Super Bowl with Dallas a few years later. 1967. I spent my summer break driving an ice cream truck in Parma, Ohio. It was good. 1970. I was a frustrated athlete. Then I read this Newsweek cover story and I thought, hey, I could do that. 1971A. So I drove my green Rambler from Oregon to Miami Beach to the Fifth Street Gym where Muhammad Ali trained. I was going to be a boxer. 1971B. Boxing didn't work out too good, but I loved the Butterflake Bakery on Washington Avenue in Miami Beach, so I stayed. 1972. I met Cheryl and Laney, and my life changed. 1973. Cheryl and I were married. That's my mother with us on the steps of the church. 1978. I began 17 years of driving a bus in Miami and Miami Beach. 1988. By now, we have daughters Lainey, Jennifer, and Kelly, and a son, Garth. 1989. Garth is 4 years old. The doctors tell us he has Duchenne muscular dystrophy. His muscles will constantly atrophy. Finally, his lungs won't work. He'll die from respiratory failure about age 16. 1991. I took Jennifer and Laney and her husband Scott whitewater rafting on the Nantahala River in North Carolina. 1992A. Cheryl becomes a condominium manager. Hurricane Andrew took our home. 1992. Cheryl, Garth, Kelly, and I drove up to New York to spend a week at Niagara Falls just before Christmas. 1994. I wrote this ad and ran it nationally in many publications, sold a ton of products, ended my bus driving career. All our lives changed. 1996. We won a Caribbean cruise for our product sales. Cheryl, Garth, and I had a blast touring Martinique and St. Thomas and all those other islands. 1998. Garth and I took a helicopter from the pier at Long Beach, California, out to Catalina Island. We rented a Humvee and driver for the day to tour Catalina. 1999, in Florence, Oregon, Garth and I drove dune buggies through the Oregon dunes. Driving was the one thing my son wanted most to do in his life. Watching him drive his dune buggy up and down those sand dunes made it the best day of my life. 2003. Cheryl teaches grandson Jeremy how to drive a tractor at our home in North Florida. 2003. Out in the yard, our hilarious granddaughters are big cut-ups. 2003. Here are our grandkids in a tree at Maclay Park in Tallahassee. 2004. Garth graduated from Osceola Christian Academy in Monticello, Florida. 2005. My experience with my son and with my nutritional products business led me to research and write the book Evil Medicine, which states the problem nobody talks about, that a side effect of every prescription you take is to destroy nutrients in your body, sabotaging your immune system and your health. 2007. Garth's lungs stopped working. He was 21. To recognize Garth's strong support, the U.S. Marines sent a 3-person color guard to the memorial service at his high school. They raised and lowered the flag and presented it to Cheryl. The trumpeter played taps. Cheryl gave our son's eulogy. Everyone came to our home to celebrate his life. 2009. We won another cruise, this time on the Mediterranean. Here are Cheryl and me on board ship with our friends. 2009. We took a guided tour through Barcelona on the craziest bicycle you've ever seen. 2011. Her son's death in 2007 was really tough on Cheryl. In 2011, she had a stroke. The left side of her body stopped working. She had led an active life, but after the stroke, she spent the rest of her days in a wheelchair. She hated needing help to do things. 2018. Granddaughter Jasmine graduated high school. That's Jazzy and Cheryl after graduation. 2019. Here's Cheryl just a few weeks before she died. We were having dinner with our friends Scott and Janet. January 4th, 2020. Cheryl fell and broke her hip. She never recovered. One of my favorite photos, years ago when she was healthy. So for the last 10 years of my son's life and the last 9 years of my wife's life, I watched as their bodies broke down. They got worse. Both of them needed help to do normal everyday things. Both of them hated that. And what about you and me? Every day, you and I get closer to that awful situation. It's scary to think about needing help to go to the bathroom.